everybody, how are you today? And welcome to the series Being a Montessori Parent. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how we as parents can help our children manage conflicts well. So here's a quote by Dr. Montessori: "Preventing conflicts is the work of politics. Establishing peace is the work of education." So keeping this in mind, let's see how we can educate our children to be able to manage the conflicts in their life effectively. So I think you all will agree with me if I say that there is really no life that has no conflicts. Inevitably, we come across conflicts in our life at some point or the other. So this skill of managing conflicts is very, very valuable to children. So here are 5 skills we can give our children, or things we can do as parents to be able to make our children good conflict managers. So let's see what those 5 points are. The first one is very, very important, and that is, let your child manage their conflicts on their own. With the best of intentions, parents try to butt into the situation by offering a solution, or many times dealing with the conflict themselves. What I would really like you to remember is that unless your child works on the conflict on his or her own, they are not going to be able to learn the skill, because we all know practice makes a man perfect. So it's important for us to allow children to handle their conflicts on their own. The next point is allowing everyone in the conflict to have a say. And this becomes extremely true when you are having a conflict with your child. It's important for us to allow the child to voice his opinion and say, talk for himself, so that we can come up with a solution. So allowing everyone to have a say in the conflict is the next point. The third point is again a very important one, and that is standing up for oneself. I think this is a skill that we really need to give our children, because this makes them alive, more confident, more involved, and aware about the things that's going on. It is a kind of self-respect if you look at it, to stand up for oneself. You are respecting yourself, and that is something that we need to teach our child. Speaking their truth is also very important. Sometimes this truth may not be what the other person wants to hear, but that is what is the skill of conflict management, is how do you voice this point of yours, or the truth that is for you, even though the others may not have that as an expectation or don't agree with it at that point. So standing up for oneself is the third point. Now this takes me into my fourth point, which is agreeing to disagree. When you stand up for yourself, people may not agree with what you are saying, and it's okay for people to disagree, and that is what we need to teach our child, agreeing to disagree. Now, you are going to have a discussion and then come up with a third alternative, and that's the way the conflict management goes on. But most of the times, this is the point or the time when we react instead of respond. And that makes the conflict into a fight. So let's just take a moment to kind of bring a differentiation between reacting and responding. So responding is coming from a space of calm and clear thinking. So you're putting your thought, you're taking that moment to think, and then you're saying what you're saying. But in the case of reacting, it's immediate, and it's coming from a place of overwhelmed feelings, mainly anger or sadness. So the feelings that make us uncomfortable make us react also. So when reaction happens, the conflict management is not effective. So training ourselves, that is the child, through life situations to respond rather than react, is something that's very, very important. The last but not the least is go into a conflict situation with an intention to solve a problem. That is problem-solving approach. So there are many ways the problem can be solved. The best way is, according to Stephen Covey in his book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, is the win-win situation. Because if you have a win-lose or a lose-win situation, there's one unhappy person. But with a win-win situation, you have everybody involved in the conflict going out happy and satisfied. So how do we get into this win-win situation is by discussion and allowing disagreement, and again discussing and coming up with third alternatives. So doing this when you are having a conflict with your child, or you doing it with another conflict that you're having and your child is watching you. So these are ways that the child will learn these methods. Another very important point to keep in mind when we talk about problem solving is, what is the outcome that we want? So nobody thinks of the outcome and we suddenly react, and then the conflict is managed with a fight. So when you start responding and thinking clearly, really, what do I want out of this outcome? Many times you realize this conflict is not really worth the trouble. So you just don't want to have it, and it dissolves in its own way positively, making you feel happy as well. But it also gives you a strength when you really need to get into this conflict for your own standing up or for your own self-worth. When you get into this conflict, you're going and you ask yourself, what is the outcome for me through this? What do I want? Then you're going to respond, and you're going to discuss in a way that you will come up with a solution for the problem. So this is something that is very good as parents. We can ask our child whenever we have a conflict, so what do you want as an outcome for this? And I want this as an outcome for this conflict. And they can use this similarly with other conflicts that they have in their life. So I think these 5 points are really helpful in making children good conflict managers. So just to kind of summarize what I've just said, the first point to help children with conflict management is to allow them to manage their own conflicts. The second one is allow everyone in the conflict to say what they want to say. The third one is standing up for themselves. The fourth one is agreeing to disagree. And the fifth one is problem-solving approach. If these 5 methods are followed in everyday life, in every conflict that we have with the children or with anybody around us, it is inevitable that your child is going to imbibe these conflict management skills. I really hope this video helps you to grab all those teachable moments that life naturally offers, to be able to impart this very valuable art of conflict management to your children so that they can establish peace in their own lives. Thank you for listening, and if you haven't pressed the subscribe button, this is the time. And if you want to know more about Formative Age, the courses that we offer, please do visit our website, which is www.formativeage.in. And until we meet again, goodbye.